show. Always Irish show. Always Irish show. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. What are you doing? Don't do this to me, Harry! The Ohio State. It's Ohio State! What do you mean, the? It's a poison. I almost stroked out and died over it. I'm glad to be at the party. I'm mad we're this late. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship. That helps the defense without them even doing a damn thing. Doing a damn thing. The call-in line. 312-988-15. You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Irish. Yeah, that's right. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Irish. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, everybody. Good morning. Happy Monday to you. These are uncertain times with what we have going on this evening in the college football world. I am already in a bad mood. I'm already frustrated. I'm already mad. And the game hasn't even happened yet. I will be watching it on mute. I have no interest in hearing any of this. None of it. I'm watching the game on mute. I want to minimize my exposure to this experience as much as possible to protect my own sanity. So I'm going to watch it on mute. I have no interest in hearing anybody talk anything about Michigan or hearing any of their fans. I'm not doing any of it. We're going to watch the game on mute. And we're going to hope that Washington saves the country. I don't know what else to say, but I was in a bad mood all weekend about it. It's just on my mind, and I hate everything about it. I just hate. Adam says the first step is accepting it. Never. Adam, I can't do it. Never. Mike Singletary, can't do it. I just can't. I can't. So tonight's judgment night in a lot of ways, as far as my sanity levels, my blood pressure readings, the scales of balance in your mind and your heart of right and wrong, justice. I need Washington to do the job. I need Washington to do the job. And so that's kind of where we're at. I'm already in a bad mood. Tom, I was wondering what happened to you. I'm glad you chatted, Tom. I was seriously thinking of emailing you and asking it what was going on, if you're all right, because I haven't seen you in a while, and that's rare for you, especially Saturday night show. Usually you're around for those. So I'm glad to see you back, and I'm glad you're healthy. COVID's going around again. A bunch of people in my family have it. It's going around again. So that's kind of where I'm at with all this today. I'm in a horrible mood. I'm bad that this is going on at all. It's already all gone too far. And I'm on edge and I'm wound tight. I'm not looking forward to it. It isn't going to be fun. Mute the whole night. Can't do it. So that's something I wanted to get out of the way. And then I got some Notre Dame stuff too, by the way. And there's some good chats here that are, the Saturday night show is wild. The thing is, Charlie Weiss, you just never know what you're going to get. Like you just never know what you're going to get on a Saturday night show after a game. You know exactly what you're going to get. You're going to get whatever the reaction from the game is. Like, we all know what it's going to be, whether it's great, awful, or somewhere in the middle. You know, ugly game you win, one you should have won by more, and it's in the middle. And if you lose, it's going to be an awful long night with everybody drunk and miserable. And if we win, it's going to be everybody's in a decent mood. You know that. It's predictable. Once you get on those Saturday night shows with no games, you don't know what you're going to get. You have no idea. And you don't know who's been drinking what, doing what. You have no idea. I got adopted by a priest. I can't explain it, you guys. It's hilarious. But the guy said, you don't know it, but you're in my adopted family. I adopted you. I used to be a priest. I don't know. It was a wild journey, but I got adopted by a former priest. What can I say? Nothing I do, just like I say, nothing Notre Dame does is normal. Nothing I do is normal either. It's just the way it is. So if anybody wants to call in with anything, here's the other thing. We're in a weird piece of time here with Notre Dame, just directly in between everything. The season's over. Spring ball hasn't started yet. You're in this in-between period, and I can feel some people kind of taking a breather. And then when we get back into spring ball, we'll get back into it. So I'm here for you. If you want to call, 312-900-8815. Couple things. One is, what's going to happen tonight? Any predictions? In my USA Today prediction, Luke Holtz. John's shows always attracts weird energy one way or another with the people he allows in here. Hey, Luke, do you have a mirror in your home? You ain't wrong, but I'm asking if you have a mirror in your domicile. You ain't wrong, but you're a part of the equation here, bro. Pat talked about his flimsy shaft. He certainly did, but it was a golf reference. But he should know well enough on a Saturday night show. You're not allowed to start talking about your shaft strength. Pat should have known that, even though it was golf. Oh, man. Oh, that's funny. What are we saying here? Luke, you're one of the weird ones. Yeah, see, I'm not the only one here on that. Somebody else said something I wanted to comment on. Now I lost it. Chief, I don't need a breather. I just want to know why we decide to go with an inexperienced coach to rebuild the program just when the sport opens up and lacks elite teams. It feels to me, Tom, I don't know what happened. I don't think it's my line. Try and call back. Yeah, my line's good to go. Call back, Tom. I mean, those things move separately, though. I understand what you're saying, but don't those things move separately? Like, you can't base what you want to do as a program based on future changes to the sport because you don't know how they're all going to play out. I don't think you can look at it that way. My opinion was, if you were going to go with a young guy like that with no experience, this was the situation to do it for, because you had a lot of infrastructure in place. Freeman was already in the fold. Everybody liked him. Like, there was already a lot of infrastructure there. And so if you were ever going to go with a younger guy, it made sense to me because you had support around him. The good news is we should be through the toughest time of that. Right? Like, that's where my mind goes. You should be, it looks like, I don't know if I have a problem with the phone line or not. People are getting bounced in and out. I might have to try and dial that up again. Maybe it's okay now. Tom, I'll try you in a second. We'll see if you pop up. So that's one thing I want to say is, if you have that frustration and worry of hiring a young guy and having to go through the learning pains, we should be phasing out of that. That's some of what I wanted to talk about today. We should be phasing out of those uncomfortable learning phase things and starting to round this all into shape where it's reasonable and justified to start expecting some higher level results and some more consistency. And I feel like we're about there. So I understand those frustrations with the learning curve and all that, but we should be getting through it. We should be getting through it. Now we should be starting the next phase. That was the video I think I put out yesterday. This has got to turn a corner. Andrew, you back from Europe? Or is it an evening show for you? Or at late afternoon, whatever it would be. And so I just think I understand the frustration of nobody in the mood to wait around for a head guy to get the hang of things. We should be coming out of the back end of that tunnel to where you're getting better results. And I know I already saw somebody made fun of me for me talking about flipping the roster. It's a big deal to me. To me, there is a clear divide of Kelly operation, recruiting, scouting, analyzing what they're looking for and all that, and what we're doing now. To me, it's just night and day. The difference in approach and scouting and what they're looking for and analyzing these guys and identifying body types of it just seems like a more refined process this time. And I just think they're better athletes, and there's more of them coming in the Freeman wave. That's what I see. And so I think this is about to turn a corner. And I think it's fair to start cranking up the heat a little bit. Not like, oh, if you don't win a playoff game this year, you're fired. But I think it's perfectly right to say you got to be in the first 12-team playoff field. I think that's completely fair with the situation we have, the roster we have, the schedule, year 3 Freeman. It's all lining up. You got to make the playoff. That's it. You got to make the playoff. That's it. So I think that's totally fair. We got a couple callers. I didn't even get through the introduction yet, and then we'll give you guys some time. So thank you for being here. You can find the program on YouTube. Do it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps Johnny out as well. Notifications on that way. You're alerted every time a new episode drops. I know you don't want to miss it. Twitter. Search bar Always Irish. Rat Always Irish Inc. Emails alwaysirishnd@gmail.com. Audio only. Anywhere you want it, you can get it. Call in lines 312-988-15. You call, tell Johnny all the football you've heard and seen. Instagram, Facebook, all of that. Always Irish Inc. USA Today, Fighting Irish Wire. Read all about it, including my Michigan-Washington prediction, where I basically just lined out all the reasons this can't happen and then picked Washington because I can't handle it. That's literally what happened. I got that email saying, we'll put together your thoughts, prediction for the game, and we'll post it in the morning. And I listed all the ways that Michigan has a 4-leaf clover hanging out their backside and that they don't deserve it. And I'm saying I need Penix to make one more play tonight. I don't know what else to do. I can't do it. There's no, I didn't have it in me, even if I think it to type in there, Michigan wins. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Okay? I'm not doing it. So I picked Washington, and if it backfires and it affects my overall record that goes there next to your name in the paper for everybody to see how accurate you are picking games, so be it. I picked Washington. Make one more play. No, Pat. I don't want anything to do with this situation tonight. I hate it. I'm watching on mute. I'm not dealing with this. Patreon.com/alwaysirish. Former captain Mike Gouldsby and myself breaking it all down behind the paywall. What could go wrong? It's a free-for-all, and I love it, man. We let loose back there. Oh, all right. First thing is, before I go to a couple callers here, thank you to everybody that joined Saturday night. We talked about it a little bit. Actually, I got ahead of myself. We need to do our sponsor. Look at me. I'm slacking on a Monday. NDSubwayalumni.com. Go over there, get a shot ski for your next tailgate. Get yourself something. Get a t-shirt. I love this group. It's all about the Notre Dame Subway alumni, honoring that group and all that they mean and have meant to Notre Dame football over the years. ndsubwayalumni.com. Go check it out. Oh, man. The Wolverine will wound John deeply if they win, and I'll be right there, too. I'm telling you, Luke, I don't know. Mikey pulls what's going on. I don't know how I'm going to handle that. I don't know how I'm going to handle it. And here's the other part. Make no mistake about it, folks. This would always be an issue to me. But the fact that they cheated is an additional layer that makes this a grievous injustice and a slap in the face of righteousness, which is what my catchphrase has been. I used it once, and now a couple people brought it up. They liked it. If they win, it's a slap in the face of college football, justice and righteousness. That's another part of this. Somebody already put, I hate it when cheaters win, the Astros, Spygate with the Patriots, whatever. All of those teams and this Michigan team are really, really good. They're really, really good teams. You could argue they might win it anyways if they didn't have these scandals or whatever, and they're really, really good. Nobody's saying none of those teams you mentioned and Michigan are not really, really good. But you taint the whole well of water with that one drop of cheating to where nobody knows how far you got off of it. That's the issue. That once you drop that drop of blood in that pool of water, it all spreads, and then it's impossible for anyone to determine to what extent cheating helped your effort or not. All I know is you cheated. Here's the next part of it. Then I'm going to the calls. The next part of it is, I said this before. Ohio, you're right. Sounds like John will handle it about as well as all of us Bucknuts are handling it. Not well. No, I'm a wreck over it. This is the one it couldn't be, Ohio. It's the one it couldn't be. If Notre Dame's not going to win it, then I go through, I'm mad, and you just tack on another year on 30, and I'm mad again. But the next layer is, if we're not winning, it can't be Kelly, it can't be Michigan, and it can't be USC. And as long as I could get those, I'm miserable, but I could get by. I'll be able to sleep at night if we don't win a title, but none of those teams can win it. None of those teams can win it. I'd rather USC won it too. If I had to pick out of these groups, I would rather USC get one. It can't be Kelly. It can't be Michigan. I can't deal with it. And I know I'd rather Satan win it. I thought you were saying Saban. I was rooting for him too. It's the one it just can't be. And we're on the brink. And you could see it on the brink. And when you looked at their schedule in the summer, I said, here we go. Here we go. They got a clean run all through the year, all these high school teams till the end. I'm not even counting Penn State as a real game anymore. You got to have an offense to count as a real team. Gimmies all the way till the last game. Unbelievable. So you could see this all coming, and I was begging they had a letdown game, sleepwalking, or maybe Ohio State could take care of them, and it just, I don't even want to think about it, and I'm going to be in a bad mood all day because of it. It's just pushing me to the brink. It's pushing me to the brink. Let's see if I get Tom up here. What's going on, Tom?
Well, Happy New Year, my friend.
How are you doing, man? I noticed you haven't been around. I was going to email you. You feeling okay or what?
No, I'm not. So I got sick. I got really sick over the weekend, and then I waited until first thing Sunday morning. I got hospitalized. So I'm just kicking back, and I got COVID on top of a autoimmune disease, but that's it. It's gonna. I got the best place. This is the best place I could be, so I'm good with that. But you sound like you're down in the dumps, man.
This Michigan thing's pushing me to the brink. Tom. It's like overload. I'm so frustrated with it from so many angles, Tom. I'm just like, I'm fighting it, man. I was in a bad mood all weekend. I know that's why I'm blocking it out, but it's there. It just seems so unjust to me. I'm not looking forward to this.
Well, one of the things I noticed, that point spread started bouncing around last 10 days ago. And then the last time I looked at it was 1.5. Now Michigan's favored by 4.5 points.
Yeah.
And I'm like, something. And so that means all that Michigan law school money came in to move that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm looking at that. I just, as much as I want Washington to show them up, I just don't know if they have the defense to stop them. I really don't.
Yeah, I know. And now, Tom, here's the thing, man. I'm trying to play tricks. 859, I got you next. I'm trying to play tricks with my mind, getting ahead of this if it doesn't go the way I need it to go. And we talked about this Saturday night, Pat and I did. And the one thing we talked about was maybe the concept that if Michigan wins it, they would be an outlier in terms of recruiting and talent leading up to your title year, where they would be an outlier where they have not had the elite recruiting, like top 5 for multiple years that most of these title winners have entering their title winning year. And is that like an indicator to Notre Dame? Maybe, there are ways you don't have to be in the top 5 and you can still have it come together and develop. It's a stretch, Tom, to look at that and apply it to Notre Dame to maybe feel better in some way. But it didn't need to be Michigan for me to learn that lesson. You know what I'm saying? There are other ways for me to learn.
100%.
There's other ways.
Get you.
And the only other outliers, Tom, in the last 12 to 15 years is you got to be top 5 recruiting classes for a couple years or have the best quarterback. Trevor Lawrence, Deshaun Watson.
I'm so glad you brought that up.
Yeah. So you can, and what's his name? The Auburn guy. What's it? Is it Cam Newton? Is that who I'm thinking of? You got to have. So it's either top 5 recruiting class a couple years going into that year, you win it, or the best quarterback in the country. So Michigan would be an outlier on both of those if they got it. And so that's one thing to think about, although these are loser laments. I mean, I'm grasping at the bottom of an empty barrel for solace here, man.
Do you think McCarthy is that good?
I don't think he's that good, but I think...
Well, you can't say that around Chicago because...
Tom, all the pieces fit together, though. That's the thing. This team has gelled beautifully. All the pieces just fit. I know. That's the issue. He's not like elite, but he doesn't have to be because all the pieces are just fitting together beautifully.
That's right.
And that's the name of the game. And so you got to credit them, even with the cheating and all that. They got it going on and they came together beautifully this year. So I'm not saying he's not good or whatever. They're not in this position if you don't have all the support that he has. Let's put it that way.
Well, that's no question about it. So, you flip the coin around and you're talking about quarterbacks. I got a discussion a couple of days ago, that they already put Riley Leonard on the 2024 Heisman list. And I said, why? I said he wasn't even the best quarterback in the ACC and last year. And the people that I was arguing with said, yeah, but he's going to be Notre Dame's quarterback. And I said, I understand that. But I said, what's your point? I said, why would you want to jinx the kid?
Yeah.
Well, we've had loads of them. I said, there's only been 4 quarterbacks since 1970 that were even in the Heisman race.
Yeah.
The last one to win it was Johnny Ewart in 64. I said, you got to get off. You can't put that kind of pressure Riley Leonard. I'm sorry. I understand he's more mature, he's older, but that means if he plays well next year, that means that the whole team, if he performs, that means the whole team's performing.
Yeah.
So I'm a wait and see on Riley Leonard.
Yeah, and Tom,
I really am.
Tom, I know that you think about things kind of the way I do, which is a little scary. You need help.
Yeah.
You need help. But I know this stuff's always in your mind. Like you're running errands around town, you're thinking of Notre Dame stuff. You're winding down at the end of the night, you're thinking of Notre Dame. Like I know how you're wired.
Oh yeah.
I know how you're wired, just like I am. It's quite the disease. You might want to have them check that out at Northwestern or wherever you are. See if they could give you some pills for that. But here's what I think, Tom. Here's what I think. Get an IV for that. Here's what I think.
Yes.
Tom, things feel like they're starting to come into place. The roots that have been planted, you're starting to kind of see them blossom. I feel way better about the staff. The roster's turning over quickly on the plus side, in my opinion. The schedule, it is tricky next year, but it isn't quite as heavy. Yeah, Freeman's not a new guy. You feel
that's another good point.
Tom, you feel like, man, it is time to get this baby kind of cranked up here. And I feel like the expectations are raising, and I feel like it's justified. And it's time for us to start getting real serious about this you got to make that playoff. You got to make the playoff.
So let me ask you this about Angeli. All right, so the last transfer portal door closed. When does the next one open up for him to leave?
I believe right after spring ball, like that window where Buckner left right after the blue and gold game. I believe it opens again in spring. Yeah.
I personally, I would love to see the kid hang around. I understand if he wants to play, but I've been told that he loves Notre Dame like we do.
Yeah.
And, I think that would be absolutely fantastic. They're going to have a good quarterback room. Even if he goes, they're going to have a really good quarterback room.
Yeah.
But I like the competition in spring. Let's compete and let's see who's got, what. And, I think that is the most important thing that we're going to take away from the springtime, especially with the kids that they got coming in. I agree with you.
Yeah.
They're gelling. Starting to gel because, look, he gets Denbrock away from Kelly. I love that.
Yeah.
That made my year.
Tom, we haven't really connected since the Denbrock news because I was in Florida and then, the holidays and all that. And then you have your situation. Tom, I'm not trying to be hyperbolic, which I do a lot here for a fact. We all admit that. I know that. I admit that. I understand that. However, you cannot understate what this hire meant. The concept in my mind.
Oh my God.
The concept in my mind that you would take the number one thing, big picture, I was worried about weighting down all of the other positives in the program, flipped on a dime from a negative to something that I could trust, and I at least know that there's somebody there that knows how to run it and put us in a position to succeed. That is not Notre Dame-like, Tom, where you have a big need like that and you go get the number one best solution for it in the country. That's new around here, and I'm here for it.
I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall when he told Kelly he wants to go back to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Hey, can you imagine how purple Kelly got?
Yeah, hey, he's got rebuilding to do, man. He's rebuilding that whole defensive staff, and he has an OC thing. I mean, it's just, he's got a lot going on down there. Did get that good.
Yeah, but
he did get Underwood. That's a great quarterback recruit by Kelly. I'll give him credit on that. He landed that one.
Yeah, but I don't know. Anyway, I hate talking about that prick because
I know
he's just the way he left Notre Dame. So I'm glad, like I said, I'm glad Denbrock left, and it is important. I don't think people realize how good that's going to be. And we've got really good tight ends, and we've got really good tight ends coming in, and he coached tight ends at 3 different places.
Yeah.
So that warms my heart.
And you know what else, Tom? Here's the other part of it. And I know this is going to hit you in a weird way like it does me.
Yeah.
I have long said on this program, the only guys that win big at Notre Dame are the guys that understand Notre Dame, genuinely love Notre Dame, and understand their mission is not about them and their ego, but it's about the lady on the dome first. I will stand by that till the end of time. You can't get over the hump at Notre Dame unless you got to have that vibe. And Denbrock loves Notre Dame. It means the world to me just to know the guy loves Notre Dame and wants to be a part of it again. I love it.
Well, you know, his happy wife, happy life, right? His wife absolutely loves her friends in South Bend that she made in 2 different stops. And he's my age. I think he's 59 or 60. So, I hope this is his last stop. And, I don't know how long he plans on sticking around, but I like his maturity. I like his experience.
Yep.
And he can develop these kids.
Yep.
And that's what's going to be very fun to watch.
It's the balance. The balance is so beautiful.
The balance of Al Golden.
Exactly. It's beautiful. It's like, Tom, if you pictured the preferred support situation for Freeman as a newer guy, this would be it. Older, established, proven 100%. Guys on each side of the ball that have low egos, that aren't using Notre Dame as a one-year stepping stone, blah, blah, blah. They're not playing any of those games. They want to do their part and make Freeman look good. It is beautiful balance. I love, just cognitively in my mind, I love the support that's there now, and I think you're going to see better results from it.
Did you hear it? Did you hear the story, the back channel story of how they got Denbrock? Did Notre Dame have to come up with extra money?
I mean,
or what was that all about?
I heard the rumor that Denbrock reached out to Freeman, and I have not been able to verify that. But and then I heard the story of the agents, that Elko and Freeman have the same agent, and when Texas A&M went after Denbrock because Elko wanted him, that agent was involved in that negotiation. So then I heard that LSU held off Elko and Texas A&M. However, that agent knew Denbrock may be listening to things and interested. So then I heard he mentioned it to Freeman. Hey, by the way, I'm also the agent of Elko. And he was talking with Denbrock. Maybe we should get involved here. That's apparently how I heard it went down. I don't know.
Okay. Well, with all the goofy stuff, that makes sense because all the goofy stuff that's going on in college football right now, you look at how he's probably saying to himself at that point, I don't want to be bouncing around from LSU, from Cincinnati to LSU to I like Notre Dame and I think I can help Notre Dame, and he's got a spot. And I think, like I said before, I think that's because of his age. It's a hotbed of football down south. I mean, we know that it's their religion, and you get guys from the north that go down there. They don't fit in. They don't like it a lot of the times, other than the weather. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this could be, this could be a really, really good thing that Freeman did. If that's the way you're going to be a CEO and run it that way, good. Just get the best coaches you can that can develop these players.
Yeah, if you're going to do that, you got to have proper support, and then that frees him up for his personal development as the head guy. I love that. Tom, one more thing I want to cover with you, if you got it in you. I feel bad making you talk this much.
Sure.
One more is, and again, I have all these items that I know are top of mind to you and top of mind to me. I also want to bring up, good job landing Burgess and Al Washington.
Oh my God.
And the Simeon and the I always talk about I want that direct route from Chicago over that damn Skyway, right on that toll road to South Bend. You need it. You
Yes.
got to build a gate around the top talent there. That video on Twitter of Al Washington driving through Chicago recruiting, I love all of it. Love all of it. Keep that pipeline on the Skyway from Chicago to the toll road going. I love it, Tom. Love it.
Well, I do too. So there's a really good friend of mine. He's in my Notre Dame club that we go to a lot of the games together. He is actually a coach in the Chicago Public League. And the last 3 or 4 coaches never really, they stopped recruiting it basically, unless the kid was an absolute phenom.
Now, can I ask why? Tom, let me ask why. Why would you not be more embedded there? Was it a matter of we don't think these guys are the right fits just because of the situation?
It comes down to fit.
Comes
down to fit and lack of education.
And but now somehow Freeman's able to go in here and find guys that can hack it at Notre Dame in the classroom and great athlete. Like, I don't understand. If those guys were always there, it's on you to mind those guys.
I know. Did you hear this kid get interviewed?
Yeah.
Burgess.
Yeah.
Mother and father in the home.
Yeah.
He's a good kid, and my friend that coaches already got the scuttlebutt on him. He said he's a great kid, and that he was really surprised that Burgess picked Notre Dame. But because he was getting heavily recruited and leaning toward Alabama or somewhere else. Like, it was all big programs, but
yeah, I think Ohio State too. I think I saw a thing where he was saying he was very interested in Ohio State. So listen, man, that pipeline's important, and it felt like Notre Dame got away from it. And it isn't just the Catholic League. It isn't just the Catholic League that you and I, that's more our specialty. But if you know what you're looking for and you navigate it right, there's a lot of talent there. And Chicago's a weird big city, Tom, because it ain't a college football town. Like, there's nothing college about Chicago at all. It's all the pro stuff. And it's not a college town. There's not a college town that owns Chicago right down the road. I hate to tell Northwestern, no matter what the billboards say, that ain't it. And it's definitely not all the way down 57 to Champaign either. So there is no
exactly.
It's got to be Notre Dame, baby. You got to get all the ones you want, and then let the other ones go somewhere else. So I love them getting more involved there. And you know what else, too? You know what else, Tom? Al Washington deserves some credit, because I heard when we got him, he's bad. He's a bad recruiter, bad developer. You're not going to like him. I was told red flag. I got to be honest. He seems to be doing a good job getting production out of that line, that defensive front, and in recruiting. So I got to kind of end it to Al Washington presently. Be fair about this.
No, I totally agree. And maybe that's the genius of Freeman in his coaching style and his recruiting style. So, he's a good salesman for Notre Dame. And, I'm sure he's really good in the living room with the parents.
Yeah.
Keep doing what and then, having the support, like you said, a lot of experienced offensive and defensive coordinators. Now you develop. I think this past season it was a strange season. And I'm just happy we're not leaving the country next year. And
I don't know. We don't have our 12th game yet. It could be, Notre Dame and somebody in Indonesia. Like, I don't know what to expect. I'm still waiting.
No, please don't do that.
I know. I'm waiting for that 12th game. They're going to go halfway around the world and then come back and play a game in 3 days or something. Let's see what they come up with this time.
That's supposed to be the open week of November the 2nd. Is when that open date would really happen. Yeah. Somebody's telling me the Army in Yankee Stadium.
I heard that too. But then I heard
Yes.
there's a contract issue because they're redoing their conference affiliation and they don't know if they want to do that game or can fit that. So there's some sort of negotiation going on. I don't know what they're going to do. If you keep it in the country, it'd probably help you. Like, I know we all like 40,000 people going to Dublin and all that. I know that's cool, but just give me another home game. That'd be fine too.
You know what? And that's exactly how I feel. Like, I'm as Irish as Paddy's pig, but stop going to Ireland, please.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And what it does to these kids. So I think it'll be all right. That schedule it's iffy. There's you never know what you're going to get from Louisville next year, and you don't know what you're going to get at teams like Georgia Tech, Stanford, Southern Cal. You gotta wait until the first 2 weeks of the season to see who's doing what in the transfer portal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that schedule's tricky. The next year's schedule's tricky.
It
doesn't have like Ohio State, a bona fide top 5 team. Like A&M's a weird game, Tom. It's a huge SEC.
Yes,
it's a huge SEC road game out of the gate week 1. But at the same time, they're not going to be ranked like in the top 5 or anything, but it's still a huge moment for Notre Dame.
It definitely is. And hopefully they can, they'll be able to sort it out. I really think so.
And Florida State too, but at least you got Florida State at home, but you want to see what that looks. Feel a lot better with that one at home.
Well, yeah, that's
for sure.
I was just pulling up the schedule. So Texas A&M, Purdue, Miami. So Louisville, that's always going to be a tough game.
Yeah, and again, at least you got that at home, so it isn't going to be their Super Bowl 2 years in a row. So you got that at home.
And I guess they're playing Georgia Tech in the Mercedes Dome in Atlanta. That's not going to be on campus.
Yeah, I knew that. I don't know, man. Week 1's huge, Tom, because if you're looking at that new playoff format, 10-2 or better to make it, probably you don't want to lose that one game 1. And there's also no way you can maintain any momentum at all. Like any momentum we're going to gain from spring ball, feeling good in August or whatever. There's no way to maintain it if you lose week 1. So it's the next big moment here for this team to try and show they're turning a corner. This is it.
Amen, brother. I totally agree. They just close ranks, play solid fundamental football, and keep developing. I like the kids on this team. I like the camaraderie they seem to have. The running backs are very exciting.
Oh, man.
But they're going to be able to do Mr. Inside, Mr. Outside. I don't know. People are talking shit about Gibran Payne. Might be thinking of leaving when he sees the new Williams kid come in.
Okay.
I don't know about these guys. They get caught up in all of this stuff. I'm like, what do we have right now? Who's here now?
Yeah.
I'm not projecting kids leaving. And the tight ends that we have, and then receivers coming in. I mean, Cam Williams, that kid's a stud.
Yep. Yeah.
So I'll take them. I will take them.
Yeah.
And I don't have my rose-colored glasses on. They're going to be a good ball club. So
yep.
God bless, and thank you for the time. It was good talking to you. Happy New Year and all that good business.
Yeah, and, Tom, take care of yourself, man. God bless you. We'll say a prayer for you. I'll get you a candle lit over at the grotto. Just know that we're thinking of you. And multiple people did ask me where you were, Tom. So that's the kind of impact you have here. People go, "Have you heard from him? Where is he?" I'm thinking, if I don't hear from you early this week, I'm gonna have to email you. So I'm glad you're in one piece, brother.
Yeah, me too. And it just happens from time to time because of this autoimmune thing that I've got. So I'm all right. I'm gonna watch that ball game tonight. I'll be thinking of you as you're going crazy on the couch rooting against Michigan.
Yeah,
so,
and get well, my friend, and recoup. And then look, Tom, look forward to Blue and Gold weekend. We're going to have ourselves some fun. So if you need a little motivation and positive thoughts, think about that. Having a beer.
That's right.
Think about having a beer for breakfast in the parking lot in the shadow of Notre Dame Stadium. That'll help.
Oh, yeah. Sure. Okay. Talk to you later, buddy.
Have a good one. Feel better, Tom. God, I love that man. I love that man because he loves Notre Dame. I got 859-385 coming up. Couple of chats. Imagine John's post-game reaction if Michigan wins. You're going to find out because I'm going to do a show on it either way. $5 holler from the Chief. Trying to decide what amount of money I could bet on Michigan to win that would tempt God to ruin me financially instead of emotionally. Like, these are just dark times, my friends. I don't know what to tell you. These are just, they're dark times. Phil, what's going on, Phil? Good to see you. Bring Back Charlie says, our society rewards cheaters. It's just rubbing me the wrong way. It's rubbing me the wrong way. I don't know how this even came up. Do you have a cat? I do not have a cat. I'm a dog person and not like a little lap dog. I need like a regular dog. Grew up with chocolate labs. I need a regular dog. I got a couple of them. Not a cat person. Now, there's two parts to this. Number one is I'm deathly allergic to cats. It's the only thing I'm allergic to is cats. Dogs, no problem at all. I walk in your house and you have a cat. Bro, if you want to kill John, throw me in a room and lock with a cat and lock the door. My throat closes up. My eyes close up. I can't breathe. My nose is running. I'm horribly allergic to cats. However, even if I wasn't, cats are weird. I don't trust them. You can't trust a cat. You can't. You cannot trust a cat. They're always scheming. They always look like they're up to something and you never know what they're doing. They always look like they're plotting. You never know, even if you're the owner, if you could trust your own cat the way you can't trust a cat. You can't trust a cat. There's something about them. It's not like, my good old reliable golden retriever, old Yeller, although you couldn't trust old Yeller at the end either, but that's for unnatural reasons. I'm just saying, you can't trust cats. They're up to something. They're always up. They look like they're scheming. It's not like your dog that's your best friend and you look at like a lab's face. It's just genuine dogginess. You get what I'm saying? You got a good yellow lab as your dog walking through the woods. You look at that, there's a earnestness that a dog provides that a cat could never provide. They're just too weird. They're always sitting there hiding, looking to do something. I don't trust them. You can't trust a cat just the way they look. Even the way they look, you can't trust a cat. They're weird. They're always scheming on you. There's no way to trust a cat. So I would say that even if I wasn't deathly allergic, I would say this. They're untrustworthy characters. I'm not saying they don't serve a purpose. They're good hunters. I'm not saying none of that's true, but I don't trust no cat. And the other thing I don't like about cats is you know people that own cats and the damn things are climbing on the counter. They're walking all over the kitchen stuff. They're pooping in a box and then walking all over. I don't get it. Why can't a cat go outside and dump just like a dog does? I don't want a box of shit sitting there. Come on. So there's a cleanliness thing I got a problem with. Cats they're just creepy, man. Oh, yeah, you look at they're always looking at you. Every time I make eye contact with a cat, I'm just like, what's your problem? Do you know what I'm saying? They give you this look. Even if they're looking at you, they give you this look that you just don't want to trust. And you feel like they're judging you. I don't like cats. Big cats are different. I'm not talking about a leopard. I'm not talking about a badass lion. I'm talking about run-of-the-mill house cats. Just sneaky little, I'm sitting in the windowsill waiting to attack something. I just don't like them. Pat's saying, what's wrong with you? Lots of things, and you know more of them than most people, buddy. Cats cannot be trusted. They cannot be trusted. That's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so. 859, you're on the line. Good morning on a Monday.
Good morning on a Monday. How you doing, John?
What's going on, buddy?
Well, let's break this down to 3 parts I got. The new AD can earn his stripes. If you're Notre Dame, start scouring minor teams, weaker teams out of Power 5 conferences and play that game week 0 in August. You got an inexperienced offensive line. I know they played in a bowl game, but get a game under your belt before you go to A&M.
Now, wait, whoa. I have never really. Why am I getting that reverb?
I hear you fine. Are you getting it from me?
Yeah, I'm getting an echo. Do you have me on speaker or something?
Hold on. I might. Hold on a second.
Or mute the video, maybe?
I don't have the video on. Is that gone?
Yeah, there you go. Got it.
Anyway, sorry about that. Yeah, they should. I think it's Texas put those 2 buys throughout the year and get a game and under your belt.
Is that even in the cards? I have not considered that as a possibility here to input that 12th game in front of everything. I honestly have not even considered that, because I understand totally the advantage of doing that, especially if it's a team you should be able to handle. I totally get that.
Well, the thing I'd heard initially, they were going to do Army and put it in that week. And I hadn't heard until you mentioned it that they ran into a contract thing with their new league. But I'm sure if Army, what about Air Force? You don't maybe want to play BYU, but do one of those teams. Or go, pick out another weak team. I'm sure they take the payday.
Yeah. Stack
our schedule, because I don't think the schedule, I think Florida State will be down a little bit. There'll be probably 3 tough games on that thing. You got to go 2-1. And even if we go 1-2, depending, can we sneak in?
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't even consider that window. Now that's all that's on my mind now, Tim, is putting that game in front of A&M so that you're not going down there with your first start with that O-line and everything. Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking that window had to be later. Maybe it's just because that's where they wanted to put it if they were going to do the Army at Yankee Stadium situation. Maybe that's why that's in my head.
Okay, and well, I don't know. Hopefully they do it. Second question, why you're not running a Michigan podcast show, John? If the thing's going to aggravate you that much, why watch it? Just do it. Just read about it or tape it, find out what's going on, and then if it's good, watch it. If it's not, just read the headlines so you can talk about it.
I know, but you know how I am. I'm a glutton for punishment. You know I'm going to watch it. It's the championship game of the favorite sport I love. I'm going to watch it angrily in true John fashion.
Oh, but I love all sports. But there's been certain games. If I hate both teams with a passion, let's say put Michigan and USC in there, I wouldn't watch it.
Yeah, I'm just really hoping. I'm really hoping Washington does something tonight. I need it, man. The long arm of college football karma needs to come down tonight.
But what people act like Washington hasn't beaten anybody. Yeah, they have. Pac-12 was good this year. They've got a lot of quality wins. And what do they have? The one thing that will allow them to beat Michigan. They have a great quarterback.
Yeah.
Now, they might have to win a shootout, but I think he gives them a fighting chance to win this game. I really do.
Yeah. The issue is it's too close. right? Like all year, you're thinking maybe Michigan will lose this one. Maybe Michigan will lose this one. Penn State, forget about it. Ohio State, forget about it. Iowa, forget about it. And then even Alabama, forget about it. I kept waiting for the hammer to drop, and it never came. And now we're on the verge of a twice suspended this year in-season coach being number one, and it all rubs me the wrong way. It rubs me the wrong way.
But John, you're smart enough. The teams you just rattled off, there were only 2 legit teams that could have beaten.
I know, and
Michigan this year.
That makes me mad too. That makes me mad too.
And they didn't get the one until the playoffs.
Yeah, and they had like an 11-game ramp up into the regular season. Like it all just lined up for them, man. It all lined up. And I need Washington. They're a good team, and I need them to play well tonight. They got to figure out a way, damn it.
I'll be praying for you because it'll bother me. But the NCAA could, excuse me, the NCAA could have done something. The Big Ten could have done something. Why? One word says why they didn't. Money. They were never going to they were never going to keep Michigan out of it. They were never going to deny their conference a chance to maybe get 2 teams in the Final Four if Ohio State could have snuck in. That's why nothing happened to them.
Yeah.
I mean, and let's face it, Harbaugh's going to pull the clown from USC, Carroll, and both. There's already rumors that he's already got a deal that's going to be announced after the championship game with an AFC team. So, unless there's repercussions, why not? What's the point?
Yeah, man, I'm just avoiding this. The perfect path is somehow Washington wins tonight. Then I get what I want. Michigan people are miserable. Then Harbaugh leaves to escape the NCAA. Like, I want instability, okay? I want that instability. Right. And it can't be they win it and then Harbaugh leaves, because then he's a martyr. He is an absolute martyr that will be revered forever and looked at by the Michigan people like, they ran him off wrongly. I don't want that. I'm Washington. Come on, man. Do your thing tonight. I need it. America needs it. Get it done.
And put the icing on the cake. Put Kelly. Kelly takes the job at Michigan, which I still find that hard to believe. But.
Me too. I find that hard to believe too. But I keep coming back to this. That came from an LSU ESPN guy. That did not come from a rival. That did not come from a random person on Twitter. That story came from the ESPN LSU guy down there. I saw it on his YouTube channel, and I don't know, maybe Kelly's just trying to do leverage just to leverage against himself for no reason. There's no leverage needed when you have the deal Kelly has. So it makes no sense.
Yeah.
Maybe
why would Michigan want him?
I don't know. And if you're Michigan, don't you just hire Sharon Moore? If Harbaugh leaves, don't you go, this guy he already beat Ryan Day as the substitute. That's what I think they might do.
And one last point with people, I saw a couple of times, I don't know how old this one guy, Chief Brody, is, but it sounds like he might have an issue with Freeman. Who do people think were going to take that job back then? That, like you said, you have to buy into Notre Dame and love it. Like a Holtz, like a Parsegian. He fits that bill. He's recruiting great. Yeah, we lost a couple teams that we shouldn't have, but he's still also won 19 games, won 2 bowl games, and has beaten 7 ranked teams. I don't understand what people want. And I have the reason to complain more. I've seen us win 3 titles. I don't know if I'm ever going to get one more, but come on, people, what do you expect?
Yeah.
Nick Saban was not coming to Notre Dame.
No.
Or we would never take Urban Meyer.
It would have been
not walking through the door.
It would have been Luke Fickell.
And you know what Fickell would have been? Brian Kelly 2.0.
Yeah. If we were not going to go the Freeman route, it was going to be Luke Fickell. And so that's like the dichotomy there of like, you have more. Here's the way I look at it, man. With Freeman over him, you have more like risk because he doesn't have the body of work, but there's also more room for upside that I could see. But with Fickell, there's less risk, but I don't see the same high-end ceiling. Maybe I'm wrong. That's just my interpretation of it.
I think, like I said, it would have been Brian Kelly, same thing. He was never going to, Fickell's never going to take us to the promised land. Did he beat LSU this year, by the way? No, he didn't. So what has Fickle done that everybody thinks he's going to all of a sudden win a national title? I think Freeman will put the work in and eventually develop to that. I could be wrong, but why not take that chance? He had nothing really to lose. It's not like he's had 2 bad years.
Yeah.
I just don't get how anybody can logically think through and say Freeman's done a bad job, or you don't think he's going to be a great coach. What has led you to believe that? Okay, we lost a couple games. That happens. I mean, at Louisville happened because we hit a brick wall finally.
Yeah, you know how it is, man. Everybody, I mean, you know how it is. Any loss is going to be a big deal. And there are certain people that I am convinced want Freeman to fail. I don't know why. There just seems to be a certain small percentage here that's waiting for that guy to fail just to say, I told you so. And I don't get that. If you're a Notre Dame guy and you see that the head coach is at least working his ass off, buy in and support it. What other option do you have?
Yeah, I get it. You don't think it's for the dark, ugly reason, do you?
Some of it is. Some of it is.
Really?
Yes. I'm convinced. Dude,
that's pathetic. That's pathetic.
I'm just saying, I don't want to turn this into that discussion, but some of the emails and stuff I get, there's a percentage of that. There is.
That's disgusting. Who cares? I mean, trust me. I think he's more down to earth and more of a good Christian person than Kelly would ever hope to be.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I just, it cracks me up. So we'll see if Kelly can rebuild his defense and what he does at OC. We'll see how it goes for our boy.
Well, what's your drink of choice? Are you going to just do water and soft drinks?
Oh yeah, I'm not drinking tonight.
Okay.
I'm not drinking.
Smart move.
Nope. I'm not doing it because I'm not working myself up more. I'm going to lay low. So no drinking for me tonight. I'm just going to watch in quiet desperation and misery, probably.
Well, hang in there. Have a good show, John. Take care.
Hey, thank you, buddy. Have a good one. Thanks for the call. Oh, man. Our Lady of Perpetual Sorrow is going 9-4 for the foreseeable future. Oh, man. Luke says, I don't see he's working his ass off. You ain't looking, or you ain't looking at the right things. Like, I don't know what to tell you. You ain't looking, or you ain't looking at the right things. The way this staff recruits and evaluates talent is night and day from the previous operation. That's all I'm telling you. If you look at how they're going about the talent acquisition and how this staff approaches recruiting, there was a guy on Saturday night that called and said, and he covers all the recruiting stuff, and he said, John, that 25 class is filling up quickly. He's saying they already got a whole, like a half dozen other guys that are going to commit to Notre Dame soon. And that 25 class is going to get sealed up and wrapped up and have guys like wanting to get in. And they're getting, even just the calendar in how they recruit is starting to change. Like they're finding these guys that they love the athleticism and their Notre Dame fits, and they want to go there and get in the fold early and then just be all set. And then just be all set. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Nick, I owe you a package. I owe you koozies. Yeah, you got stuff coming to you. I got to get those koozies made to get to you, Nick. I'm fresh out. I'm fresh out. Look at this, Mark. God, I don't want to yell about anything else. Nobody likes Chicago's thick-ass pizza. Here's the other thing. You do not have to get that thick pizza in Chicago. I know everybody says you got to get the deep dish, this and that. You don't get whatever you want. You come to Chicago and order a thin crust pizza or regular crust pizza. It doesn't matter. Like, you don't feel like you don't get bullied into this. This always happens to me. Oh, a Chicago-style hot dog. You can't put ketchup on a hot dog. Get out of Chicago. What do you care if I put ketchup on my hot dog and nothing else? Leave me alone. Let me eat my wiener in peace. It's always rubbed me the wrong way that, oh, Chicago dog, you can't put ketchup on it or you got to leave the state. Well, then I guess I'm leaving the state. Leave me alone. It's bothered me my whole life. You go to a ball game and you put ketchup on a hot dog and it's like you look like you're a felon. Leave me alone. Oh, a Chicago dog. Oh, look at this. Chicago dog has what? A Chicago dog has a whole bunch of rabbit food and weird shit on it all the time. I'm not here for that. Ketchup only, like a real man. I'm not there to have a garden on top of my hot dog at the ball game. So miss me with all of that, Chicago dog. Oh, you got to have those, what is it, them like peppers or whatever it is, a whole chunk of a real pepper with a stem on my hot dog? You're out of your mind. You are out of your mind with that. Yeah, pineapple pizza for sure. Give me a freaking break. So I'm against all of that. A couple other things here I wanted to mention. We're getting all over. Ketchup on a dog is kind of sacrilegious, John. Ketchup goes on a hot dog. What do you mean? It's the first thing anybody says, but a hot dog? Unbelievable. But it makes me sick when I look at a guy with a hot dog and there's 90 other things on top of it. It's like a salad on a hot dog. I don't want that. You're out of your mind. Unbelievable. One more thing. I want to wrap up. I'm not making this about Kelly. Let's wrap this up. Really good job recruiting that quarterback. Great job by him. Like getting that quarterback is a really good job. Okay, beautiful. Good for you. The LSU people are trying to nail me on Twitter saying, look at this recruiting. What do you got to say now? Look at what Kelly, look at this recruiting. What are you saying now? You idiots. You are proving my point. You are not proving your point. You're proving my point. My point was Kelly is unwilling or unable to do the level of recruiting and put in the effort it takes and require the effort of all of his staff to recruit well enough at Notre Dame to get over the hump. The evidence of that was we kept doing the same thing and then bumping up against the same ceiling we could not get higher than. So all the evidence was there multiple years, over a decade, that indicated to you, if you're going to keep recruiting this way, you're not getting over the hump. And that's exactly what happened. He was not unable. He's a politician. He could sell anything. He was unwilling to do the work at Notre Dame. And he basically admitted it. When he said, I got sick of getting on that plane and having to fly in my private jet and go recruit these guys. Who wants to do that? He admitted that was the deal. My position was LSU's a way better recruiting fit. If you could get over the north-south divide and my family and the fake accent and all that, you could do less effort in recruiting and get better results at LSU. That was my entire point. And it's being proven true. That proves my point, LSU people. That doesn't prove your point. That proves my point. That you could get more mileage out of what recruiting you are willing to do when you're at LSU. That furthers my point, not their point. So I don't understand that. It's like, oh, where are you at now, Notre Dame people? Look at what he just did. All you're doing is furthering my point that he could do less and get more out of it recruiting-wise at LSU. So I don't understand that. The logic there, the problem I'm having is, The LSU people, here is the root of all the contention I have with LSU people every day. The issue is they are unwilling, all of them, every single one, media and the fans, they are unwilling to accept that any Notre Dame fan was ready for Kelly to leave. They will not accept that. So from there, everything else they're going to talk about is distorted. They will not accept that I was saying this was the best thing for everybody and it was time to part ways so we could do something new and Kelly could try something out. It was stale. It was time. The energy was dead. We weren't getting over the hump doing the same thing. It was just time. None of them will accept that because they want to think their new man's perfect. And there's no world where anybody would not want their guy to be the head coach. And they also say Kelly did a lot of good things at Notre Dame, won the most regular season games ever. How could you not want that? You know, it's spilled milk you're crying over. You know, we stole your man, and that's what this is. They absolutely refuse to accept any reality where we just might have said this relationship's run its course and we're ready. We're ready for a change. That is the main issue I have that makes me incapable of debating with the LSU people, because if they refuse to accept that you are ready to move on, there's nowhere you could go from there. And does that make sense? They just will not tolerate it. And so then they're saying, that's bullshit. You know, we know that you loved him and you're only saying that now that he went to LSU because you're mad he left in the middle of the night. You're an idiot. That may be applied to some people. It doesn't apply to a guy with a 7-year YouTube history of criticizing Kelly and saying, do we need to do something else? This does not seem to be working. And we're doing the same thing running in place every year. Every year. Okay, so they just refuse to accept it. They refuse to accept it. And so that's the issue I really have with them, is that their inability to conceive of any way a Notre Dame fan could have been happy that Kelly left. They won't accept it because it's like an insult to their new guy in some way. And for some reason, recency bias is the only one. They think that they're better than Notre Dame, you know, and it's all recency bias, you know, but that's the way it is. So I just have a total disconnect with those people. I will tell them, here's a link to this YouTube video 4 years ago of me saying this is not changing with Kelly. We're wasting our time here. They will not, they'll just ignore it. They'll just ignore it. And so I'm having an issue with them. They refuse to accept it. They got a tough schedule next year. I hope he loses 3 or 4 games. It's not, I can't handle it. You want to talk about Michigan in the title game tonight? That's fine. LSU's another one. That's another. If it isn't going to be us, I could live with it. But it can't be Kelly. It can't be Michigan. And it can't be USC. It just can't be. How dare you be consistent on your opinions, John? I've been saying it forever. They ignore my actual evidence. Oh, you're just saying that. You loved Kelly, and then the minute he left for LSU in the middle of the night, now you hate him. I'm going, you're an idiot. Go through my entire YouTube history, and you'll see I've been on this for years. They can't handle it. They can't handle it because it puts doubt in their mind about Kelly, and they want to believe in their new hero. They want to believe in their new hero. So I don't know. So whatever, man. I hope he wins nothing. John didn't fit in with the Northwestern folks. I certainly did not. I just don't think I'm smart enough to blend in there. You're right. I did not fit in there. It's like I didn't have the brain wavelength to be able to associate with the Northwestern people or something. I didn't fit in. It was weird. Not smart enough, apparently. I don't know. Here's something else, too. C. Jones. It's unusual to define week one as critical, but the Irish have to go down to Texas A&M and win that game in front of 105,000 fans to set the tone. A must win. God. C. Jones. It is a must win in some ways, and it isn't in others. In the new playoff era, there's a way Notre Dame could lose this game and still be a part of the first 12-team playoff. So it isn't practically a must win. However, perceptually, there's no way you can lose this game and maintain any momentum into the year. It's not physically possible to do that. So you're going to have spring ball, and I imagine people are going to feel pretty good about that. Then you have summer. Then you know what happens every August. Every August, every team builds up. There's excitement. There's hope. Nobody has any losses yet. Everybody's hoping this will be the year their team's different, whatever. There's just no perceptual way you can lose week one at all, and especially this kind of profile game, an SEC road game, and feel good about it. You just can't do it. So here we are again, where Notre Dame's in one of these critical pivot point moments right out of the gate, year 3, week 1, in the big screen, in the big lights, in the SEC. That's your next chance. We keep talking about moving the needle, getting over the hump. Notre Dame, how do they break through in one of these big game moments to change the perception of themselves and all that? Here's your next opportunity. Here's your next opportunity. But there is no way for you to maintain that momentum if you lose that game. It's physically, there's no physical way. Week 1 always gets overblown, whether it's good or bad. You have all the summer months building to that week 1 because everybody's just so excited to see what we have. You can't have momentum if you lose that game. Will ND have an awakening week 1 at College Station, or does the staff team continue to skirt the responsibility of winning a big game? Again, I'm with you on this one. You got to get this one. At some point, Notre Dame's going to have to burst through the door. Get over the hump. Be the team that makes the few extra plays to get a win in a game of this profile. We have been on the other side of that forever. And I feel like once you break through, then the floodgates open and it's off to the races. That's what I think. So I don't know. It's rough. ND will beat Texas A&M easily? I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about easily. Like, I don't know how quickly Elko could get them all put together, but I do know there's talent down there. And I don't trust nothing with that dirty oil money wrapped around it. I know they've slowed that down a little bit, but I don't trust any of that oil money. I just don't. Rodney, good morning. What's going on, brother?
Hey, man. I slept in today. Saw the show that was on. I almost didn't even realize you were on today. And I'm like, oh, wait, it's Monday. Anyway, morning. Good morning, John.
What's up?
How's your recover from the weekend?
Good. I'm just not looking forward to tonight. I'm going to be completely honest.
Yeah.
I am not looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's funny. Originally, I had plans to just, go out somewhere, watch the game. I'm like, you know what? Hell with that. I'm not going to drink tonight. Like you just said, I'm not getting myself worked up. I'll watch it, but it's going to kind of be on in the background. I'm not going to get into the whole. I'd probably be a lot more excited if it wasn't Michigan that was in the game. Because I just don't think Washington's going to win, man. I think that they're a really good team who's had to overcome a lot of they played Oregon twice, a really good Oregon team. It just feels like Michigan's the team of freaking destiny, doesn't it? I mean, I just think it's just time for us to just accept the coronation, get us prepared for the hatred that we're going to feel when it happens. It's funny. Up until today, I wasn't as upset, at least as of a couple weeks ago. I started to kind of mellow out on it a little bit. And then now I'm mad again about it. But I'm like, no, you're not getting the worst of me. I'm not going to drink tonight. No, that ain't happening because I can already see what's happening. I can already see it coming.
Yeah, nope. I am.
I just can't. I'm sorry, John. I just feel like the gods, for whatever reason, want them to win.
I know. I hate it.
It
just feels so unjust to me. It just does. And you know what else, too, man? Nobody likes a cheater, but also nobody likes the tattletale on the cheater. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I heard that you said.
Yeah, I'm really struggling with that, dude, because it's like nobody likes cheaters, but also nobody likes the kid in school that's tattling to the teacher when somebody else does something either. And I don't like being put in a position to have to bring that up because it sounds like weakness and like excuse making of why they're there and we're not. But I didn't put us in this position. They did. So why should I feel weird for bringing it up?
Let's be real here, man. I mean, I think it's starting to come out. The rumblings behind the scenes. This was on Ohio State. Ohio State did this, and I'm starting to now hate them as much as Michigan because, John, don't you feel a little bit like this again? And I want to be very, very clear about this. I don't blame the Michigan students, the football players. I don't blame them. It sounds like you got a couple of great assistants that are probably pretty decent human beings. I like Sharon Moore. I can't help it.
Yeah.
But like you said, man, I feel like all they did was lit a fire under their butt, after all this stuff came out. It's like it just backfired on you. Maybe had they not done that, maybe had this never been, going on behind the scenes, maybe they lose that Alabama game.
It's so weird, man. It like fueled their wrongdoing, fueled them to do better. Like it just bothers me. It really bothers me. And you know what? I got to give you credit on that here. Maybe I'm evolving. I was really impressed with Sharon Moore. He outcoached Ryan Day. He pantsed Ryan Day in the biggest moment there could possibly be. An interim literally clowned Ryan Day in that ball game. It was genuinely impressive. As much as I hate admitting it, it was beautiful. He played ballsy. He played aggressive. And it all came up aces. Like they went for the win and Ryan Day played scared. And it was what we should have done, quite frankly.
I mean, I kind of look at the situation. Who knows how it's going to unfold? But assuming it seems like from everything I'm hearing, he's although he's weird, he's so strange. I'm not going to say he's a bad guy. I'm not going to say that. I don't know that. But Harbaugh is a weird dude. Obviously the players love him, man. Whatever.
Yeah.
Love him. So I got to give him credit. But he is just weird enough that it could seem like everything is pointing to him going to NFL and for some reason he decides to stay. But it does seem like, assuming what we're hearing is true, it does look like he's leaving. I don't see how there's any even debate on who their next coach should be. I mean, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
That it's Sharon Moore. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of like Notre Dame hiring Marcus Freeman. You got guys from within that's got a lot of momentum. Everybody seems to like him. He knows what he's doing. Now as far as him and the game day stuff, I obviously can't take credit away from him. They did know this was coming though, and I'm sure that they had some plans implemented ahead of time. Not to say that I'm not trying to take it away from them, but because certainly it was impressive to go in and play Ohio State that way and, just take it to them. But I don't think anything's stopping that team, dude. It seems like a freight train with, like they're running on motivation. I mean, I've never seen a team more motivated at the end of the year than this team. And it's because we gave them all the just like you said, John, you're right, man. It's like, who's worse, the fool or the fool who follows it, or the tattletale or the I don't know, man. I mean, obviously I keep forgetting the guy's name that caused all this. The
Stallions,
sunglasses. What's his name?
Connor Stallions.
Yeah, hell with him. I hope he. I don't know, man. I don't even know that I want to see him get punished because it's going to be so after the fact.
Hey, you're not on Twitter.
I just would rather see him lose today and make us all happy.
Exactly. You're not on Twitter, are you?
No.
There was a picture.
Not really.
There was a picture from the Rose Bowl of Connor Stallions in the stands celebrating, and he's leaning over with his arms crossed with this smug little smirk on his face at the Rose Bowl. It all rubs me the wrong way. It all rubs me the wrong way, and I'm just hoping karma comes back their way tonight and shuts this down. It's the last stop for the train, man. There's nowhere else to go. There's no other savior. It's Washington or bust.
And and look, I want to give some credit to Washington here. They've had a really, really great season. I mean, no question, these are the two most deserving teams. I'll say that after what Michigan finally did at the end of the year, after all the cheating stuff came out, yes, I mean, we can debate the first 8, and they played a ridiculously easy schedule to start the year. And I do think that when you do that, it sets you up for the end because you're probably not dealing with the kind of injuries other teams are, whatnot. You get all your kinks out of the way. So, I still have some problems with the way this thing was built. But I will say, once Penn State came to, once they played Penn State and then beyond, that's when all this stuff was coming out, and it did absolutely the opposite. It's kind of like, what's going on right now with the well, I'm not going to all that. But, it's just, dude, when you light a fire under people, and especially if they had nothing to do with it. The people that are playing the game, the football players, had nothing to do with that, obviously. And this is, you're going to be so ready to show your mettle. I mean, of course you would be. I was hoping what would happen is that it would motivate the other teams to play a little harder, but Penn State ain't doing nothing.
Yeah.
Ohio State, they're afraid of, Michigan's got their number and then some. And Iowa's got no defense. Maryland actually played pretty tough. They gave them they gave them a little bit of run for the money there until the end. But yeah, man, I'm not going to say Washington can't win it. I think he is a true elite college quarterback, Penix. I mean, he really is. It doesn't even look like when he throws the ball, it should go the way. I mean, the ball just goes where he wants it to be put. It's weird. It's like he has, maybe because he's a lefty, it just doesn't look like the ball should go in the directions he's putting it. And he just puts it in those perfect windows.
Yeah.
But I just never liked the matchup.
It comes up different as a lefty throwing the ball. It all looks different. Yeah, you're right.
It seems like it takes longer, but it really doesn't. I mean, I'm trying to be fair about this, but he's such a good player, and he's got some great receivers. And obviously, the problem, John, is I just never like this matchup. No matter, take away the logos, but I never like the team that's like great on the lines and have enough good talent around them, that receiver and defensive back and whatnot. I just don't like the matchup. I think that they could win, but they have to play mistake-free football, in my opinion. They have to play the best game they played all year. Michigan could probably get away with a couple of mistakes today and win. I don't think Washington can. So it's not that they can't win. It's just I don't like the matchup.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah. Yep. It all makes sense. And we're going to see how it goes. And however it goes, I'm going to record a post-game video, and it's going to go really heavy. There's no in between on this. It's going one. I
know you will, John. I
got 2 scripts, and there's only 2 ways this could go. And I got a shadow script for one path and another one for the other, and we'll fill in the details. But I'm not excited about it. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm prepared to be frustrated. I will listen on mute. I am not interested in hearing them talk about Michigan's success, hearing their fans cheer. I'm not here for any of it. No pregame. I'm not doing any of that. I'll watch it on mute.
I'm with you. I'm going to watch the. I mean, I'm torn a little bit because I can't. It's weird, John, because I do have to say I like the way that team plays football, and I think they're kind of. It's weird to say doing it the right way, and then on the other side of we're talking about cheating. I'm just mad this even came up. Like, why do we have to even hear about that? Like, why could that have just been something that happened behind the scenes and it was dealt with? Because it sounds like it's just a small handful of people that are probably at fault for this, which definitely should affect the program down the line with, a few reduced scholarships, whatever it's going to be. And that shit-eating grin Connor Stallion had. I hope he gets put in jail for a long time, whatever's going to happen, or he loses all his money. Man, I hope he gets his. But
Rodney, my whole life,
it's weird because
my whole life, man, Notre Dame's never won any, not even a major bowl game that I can remember. At 39, I missed the window. That's one of the only defaults I had is if I'm going to be miserable all off season, at least the Michigan people are too. Like, that's my crutch. It's been my crutch my whole life, is knowing that at least if I'm miserable, they're not happy too. The idea that can end tonight is, it's quite frankly, it's horrifying. I don't know how I'm going to handle it.
I think Washington, here's what I think is going to happen. I think it's going to be a great game. I truly do. I just think that Penix has that special something, that I think that a team, you talk about great quarterback, like you had, we were talking about the other night on the show, you got to have either, all the pieces got to be there, put in place, blah, 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 or you got to have, the best quarterback. I was honestly, John, going into the Heisman week, I had picked Penix. I didn't pick Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
I was actually kind of surprised. Now, I guess I just wasn't listening to things around me. To me, it seemed like, well, here's a guy that's, their team's elite. They're in the playoff. Here's LSU, 3 losses. I don't know. I guess I just didn't. And then he won, and it was kind of not even that close. So people were saying, so he's also got a lot to prove. I could look, if it's going to happen, it's going to be this game. Like if Michigan's going to lose, it's going to be tonight, because I think that Washington has the right coach. They have the right quarterback. I just think Michigan has just all the intangible momentum.
I know.
Going their way. So I think it's going to be a great game. I think Michigan's going to win at the end. But if it is a blowout, it's definitely going to be Michigan. I just don't see Washington winning a blowout game for whatever reason. But
yeah. So
whatever, we'll see what happens. I know we didn't even talk about Notre Dame, but I'm very happy with what's going on there. I don't have any criticism.
And you know what else too, man? It's the title game day. We have all until spring ball to talk about the Notre Dame stuff. We could talk about the title game
absolutely.
As much as I don't like to.
There's not really a lot to say other than I'm just really optimistic. I think. Yes, you can feel it from everybody too, man. Now, look, I don't want to set us up for letdown. There's going to be some bummers. There's going to be some guys that probably get injured before the season starts that we were really hoping for. Like any other team. What I like about, well, first of all, the obvious, the coordinators, the assistant. Mike Brown sounds like a really, really good hire. From everything I'm hearing. I'm liking the strength and conditioning stuff. I paid a lot of attention to that when his name was brought up, and it really, he sounds like he's unique and a little different, but it sounds like everybody thinks he's the real deal. When Brady Quinn endorses him, I don't know. There's something about that. Yeah. It just makes me feel good. But
very forward thinking, very modern, forward thinking, technology, new age medicine, blending with old school stuff. He's very the analytics.
And damn it, John, and John, that kind of feels like what you just said. That feels kind of like Notre Dame in general right now. It feels like they're kind of forward thinking for the first time that I can ever remember.
Yeah.
So yet still maintain, the thing that's kind of beautiful about, and I'll say this, and I'll let you go, John. Great job today. Good show. I really kind of dig, this whole transfer era portal thing. I was kind of worried. I was like, Michigan, though, has kind of shown me the blueprint of what it takes for a program that is probably going to maintain as many of their, more football players on their team than probably a lot of other programs will. Notre Dame's doing it the same way. I don't mind seeing, 5 to 8 transfers a year. That's kind of a good number where it's like, okay, the guys that are leaving, I'm not saying I don't care about them. I mean, look, Tyree, thank you, man. You got your degree. You're a 4-year guy. Do what you got to do. But the guys they're bringing into the transfer portal, here's a way of looking at it, John. It seems like so far they have absolutely been good fits, and it's kind of exciting to bring in a guy who earns his way to Notre Dame. Okay, you weren't there from the beginning, but you did really good in your college career, or maybe you had an injury, maybe you just haven't quite hit your potential. Like John Baptiste. great job this year, and even, look, Hartman, for all he didn't play as well as we would have liked, but I will say, man, he did open up that door for people looking at Notre Dame as a transfer portal destination. So and for representing the university and for his good looks and all that stuff, man. Thank you, Sam Hartman. I think we're in a good spot with the guys we've got. It's kind of exciting bringing in these guys have kind of earned the way to come to Notre Dame now. I don't know. I had a different way of looking at it. I think 5 to 7 is kind of the right number.
Yeah. We'll see, man. We'll see. That 25 class is shaping up. I want to see where that ends up. They're getting way ahead on 25. I'm hearing there's like a half dozen guys going to commit soon, and that class is filling up quick, and people want to get in it. It's beautiful. Rodney, thanks for the call today, man. I hope you have a good one.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it, John. Have a good one.
Take care. You know what? I like that people want to get a lot of stuff off their mind. All right. We're about to wrap up. I'm not going to let this go, though, so we may as well finish on this. Pat, I'm not trying to bring this up, but I did see the Michigan idiot in the chat that wrote, anybody that's, a Catholic talking about morality, you have no space to do that. I can't believe there's people here that support Catholicism that are talking about morality. Where do you get off doing that? Let me be very, very specific about the difference, you idiot. The difference is someone like me who spent 11 years working in the Archdiocese of Chicago. I literally worked for the church. The difference between people like me and you is I'm able to acknowledge my people did wrong. I'm able to acknowledge that, yeah, I'm a part of this group, but I'm against a lot of what's happened and how it was handled, and it was wrong. And it needs to be figured out and stopped and people punished and all this. That's the difference. That's the difference between me, someone like me, and Pat as Catholics who don't approve of everything we've ever done in the history, and there's a lot of ugliness there. We're actually saying punish the people that did wrong. Stop the wrongdoing to clean up our operation because we don't like being seen like that. That's the difference. You are over there going, yeah, we have no morals and we love it. That's the difference. I am able to say I'm a part of this group, but we're not perfect and we did wrong and people need to be punished. You are saying we did wrong and it doesn't matter because it's my team and it's all good and cover it up and we keep it moving. Big, big difference. I want to see you admit you did wrong. There should be an asterisk. You're going to get your wins taken away and that you want a clean slate with no rules broken to feel better about your program. Be consistent. That's the difference. And on that, we're going to end the show. Nick Shepkowski, thanks for being here today, buddy. Glad you could join. Thank you to everybody that called, everybody that chatted. I'll have a short out this afternoon. And then late tonight, I'm going to record that video. And I'm either going to be really, really happy or I'm going to be really, really upset. So either way, it should be a very entertaining show. It'll probably post first thing tomorrow morning because the game will end late. And we'll see how it goes. I am not excited, though. Have a good day.